Hey guys, today I want to talk to you about route navigation on your motorcycle using either an Android or an iOS device. Now you might be asking me, why not just use your navigation software? And the answer is pretty simple. That's because navigation software, no matter what app it is, does not do the kind of route planning that I'm going to show you. This is about following specific roads that you've laid out that you want to go for a day trip on, just like I did the other day on the Green Swamp Tour. That was a custom route that I drew and I followed it using my phone, and I'll go through how I did that, but I'm going to show you some other options. Before I do this, I'm going to say flat out, first of all, if you are using either an Android phone, this is obviously a tablet, this is a Nexus 7, but it's running Android, same as any of the phones are going to do, so the apps work the same way. This is an iPhone 6, so you've got iOS. I'll show you some differences between the two here. But if you want to run a dedicated GPS like a Garmin Zumo, that is going to be your by far best option for what I'm going to show you, at least for the time being. Things are changing. But if you're like me and you have your reasons for not wanting to run a big dedicated GPS device, you just want to use your phone, this video is going to be for you. Alright, now first of all, let me show you the state of affairs in apps as of today. It's, what is it, April 8th, something like that, and it's 2015. Right now, there's a little change going on with the Google Maps app that I'll show you here. Things are going to be different. They're going to be matched up between the two really soon. So, you know, check back in a little bit for some stuff I'm going to show you. I'll show you how to create maps. There's a couple different ways, but first let me show you the basis of what I'm doing using them on the bike. So I put my phone on the bike, and you might have seen a little bit if you watched that video as I'm looking down to follow my route, or route, as they say across the pond. Basically, I want a map following me via GPS, showing me the custom route that I've planned out. Now, here's why you don't want to use any of the navigation apps. They don't do it. They're great for going from place A, or point A to point B, and maybe you can put in some waypoints to travel via between the two. That's all they do. I mean, they're obviously great for turn-by-turn navigation. They show you where you are. You know, they'll follow where you're going and tell you to turn left or right. It does all that. But if you don't have a start and an end point, maybe you just have, you know, a bunch of roads you want to travel. Maybe it's a very complex map. It's not going to work for you. Some of them, like TomTom, like I said, at least you can put in waypoints, but it has a limit of 10 of them, and you can't save them. All you can save is the destination. So it doesn't do you any good to use anything like a navigation device. So that's out. Two major things that I found that work very well. Neither one is absolutely perfect, but they both have pros and cons. They both work off of the Google Maps interface. So again, I'll show you how to input a map there later. But Google Maps is an app for both Android and iOS. And basically, you know, it's Google Maps. I'm sure you've used it. You can use GPS with it. Click this and it knows where you are. It follows you, all that kind of good stuff. You've got all the map controls just like Google Maps on a computer, all right? You can also make a custom route. However, on iOS, right now, like I said, as of early April 2015, you cannot load that custom map into Google Maps on iOS. Normally, you would go into your account here, you would either see it in this menu or go to your places, and nothing. Right under here, we're supposed to see any custom maps that we've made, and there is nada. All right, bummer. But there is an app. It's called New My Maps, and it does exactly that. You pull it up. Now there's a big caveat. It's going to error out right now. This app was only $5. I gave it a shot. It worked absolutely perfectly the first time I loaded it, and now it gives this error every time. I've tried uninstalling it, reinstalling it. I've tried a different Google account. I've tried erasing all my maps. I've tried going to just a simple map. It's an error in the program. I contacted the developer a few days ago. It's just a kid out of Hong Kong. I don't expect anything to really happen. He said he's working on the problem. But here's the thing, okay? When it worked, it was awesome. It pulled up my custom map. And here's the big difference. It not only follows you in GPS, it rotates the screen. So you're riding down the street, any turn you do stays in front of you. It's awesome. I mean, this is just freaking perfect if it worked, but it doesn't. So that's out, unfortunately. But if that would work, I mean, I would be having a blast with that. And I'll show you why using Google Maps is an absolutely fantastic thing in a bit compared to other solutions, even GPS. And that's in making the map itself. Okay, now, the difference between the Android and the iOS is Google Maps on Android right now, the feature is coming, works with your custom maps. In Android, everything works the same, except you can pull in your account, boom, you've got your custom maps that you've created. I've just got a test one in here. And there we go, it shows the route I planned out, following the roads that I plotted. And if I click GPS, it follows me. So if I've got my phone on my bike, it looks just like this, and I'm going along the route, and it tells me where I am, and it shows me the route. Works great. So when this hits iOS, I'm going to be very happy. Now the solution I used, because I use my phone, not my tablet, on my bike, is an app called Indian Rides. There is an identical one called Victory Rides. They're both Polaris apps, obviously. And they work with software on the PC that I'll show you in a bit here called RyderX, and that is used to create the maps. But these two apps basically do the same thing. They come up, and you can load your saved maps. They're under Rides, Planned Rides. And here's the one I just did. This is the one that I routed out and followed, going around the green swamp. So you can see my route. So this is what I had up on the bike. And it does follow you. You can press the GPS button and it centers it on your location. And it follows you as you go along. And it shows you this line that you've created to go along the roads. Big difference with this. Number one, it doesn't rotate the screen, same as Google Maps. I wish it did. Big difference with this is not actually a line on a road. Okay, these are just point-to-point lines, straight lines that I had to create to make this route. It has no idea where the roads are. It has no idea what the road names are. It's basically like having a laminated map that you're drawing on with a straight edge and a Sharpie, and then you're just putting that map on your tank bag, basically. That's all this is. This is not a real map. It's a map overlay. It's a picture of a map, and it's a picture of lines you drew, and that's it. And they're not curves. So it does take quite a while to draw a complex map like this if you want it to look decent, because when you have a curve in the road, you got to make a lot of points. So it just creates, connect the dot, basically, to make this kind of a map. But it does work. It just takes a while to make the route. But it does work. And of course, it doesn't rotate the screen, so you do have to be mindful of if you have something coming up, if it's left, right, straight, it's not glance at it and know like it would be if it was rotatable. But I did get used to it. I mean, you saw me doing all the misturns and the U-turns. I got used to it by the end of the ride. So it's not a deal breaker by any means. And it does function very well. So that's that. But now let me show you why, if Google Maps worked better, it would be far better than this. And that's in how you create the maps. Let me go to the computer for that. Okay. Here are the two ways that you can easily create a map. This is maps.google.com, and it takes you right to the standard Google Maps. Now this is where you can, zoom in on a map, find places, whatever. It works just like, I'm sure you've used Google Maps before. But if you look up here where it says My Maps, if you click on that, this is where you can create your own. Now if you've never done it before, all you're going to see here is a create button, and that takes you to another site, and it's their maps engine. They don't really give you too clear information, and there are multiple ways to do what I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you the easiest way. Now let's say I just want to create a route and I want to go around my neighborhood. Oh, where am I? I'm over here. Obviously, there's no GPS on this. This is just a straight map. All right. Now, let's put some points on the map, and then we can create our own route. Say I want to go, I'm going to click a pin here. It's called Add Marker up at the top, and just drop it anywhere. It gives you little crosshairs. I'm going to put it at the intersection here. You don't need an address. You don't need a place, nothing. That's why this works extremely well. Just a crosshairs, and you drop it wherever you want. And it'll automatically name them point 1 through whatever. You can name it whatever you want. You can have as many of them as you want. You only need 2 though. So there's start, and let's say I want to go over to this intersection right here. So I'm going to drop a pin there, and we'll call that end. Okay, so now it's got 2 points. It doesn't do anything with them by default. So now we can turn these 2 points into a route. If we left click on the last one there, this center icon, we've got an edit. That's if we want to change the name of it. We've got a directions to here, and we've got a delete. We're gonna click directions to here, and then on the left we're gonna see it bringing up driving instructions. This is where it automatically knows where the roads are, what the names of them are, how to get places, and all that kind of cool stuff. And this is where we can make our custom route. So we've got a point A and a point B. It's put in point B because we did directions from this one, or to this one, can't remember. Anyway, it sticks it in automatically. All we have to do here is start typing whatever we named one of the other points. So if I start typing start, boom, there it is. And now it draws the most efficient driving route between those 2 points. Okay, well, you know, that's not what I want to do. I want to snake my way through the neighborhood. Now, the harder way to do that would be to add more points. And you can add destination here, and then, you know, choose point 2, maybe point 3, whatever you want, and do it all that way and have a whole bunch of these little markers. Or, this is why Google Maps is so freaking awesome, you can drag and drop. If you put your little hand over any point on the driving route here, it gives you a little circle. And you can click and drag that circle to change your route. Anywhere you want it to stay, you just click, and you can just make any kind of route changes you want, dragging and dropping this line. So you can make it real complex if you want. You can make it real simple. You can do whatever you want. And that's it. That's all you have to do is just, you can put these start and end points next to each other. If you want to do a big circle like I did, that's what I did. And I just kept stretching that line out like a rubber band and put it where I wanted to on the roads. You can make the most complex route in just a minute. That's it. And that's all you have to do. So now we're going to save this map. We'll call it 2. And it's already calculated all these street names, all the driving directions. You can see it if you want to, but you don't need them. It's not just dumb lines on a map. This is not a map overlay and point to point over it. It knows exactly what road you're on, and even addresses if it's by near that kind of stuff. If you actually want to see everything, you can click on these little 3 dots here, which means more, and see the step-by-step directions. See, it's not just dumb lines. It's a full-on route automatically. And you can even modify stuff after the fact. And it'll modify those step-by-step directions real time. There's nothing to recalculate. It's just instant. And the cool thing is, this is all saved in your Google account. This is not on your computer. This is not on your phone. It's in your Google account. So anywhere that you access Google Maps or any app that uses Google Maps, like that new My Maps does, it's already there. It's in your account, so it's live. So now I can pull up map number 2 on any of the apps that use Google Maps or the Google Maps app, and it's in here. Super simple. So like I said, when they finally update the Google Maps on iOS, which I'm filming on right now, man, this will be absolutely perfect for me because I can draw the maps almost instantly. I mean, draw the routes instantly and view them as soon as they turn on that GPS feature on my phone, and it'll be absolutely beautiful. Now, until then, hopefully it's just a few weeks, maybe a couple months. I don't know. I'm not Google. Until then, I'll show you the app I'm using right now. I showed you the Indian rides, but let me show you RyderX, which is what you use to create the routes for that app. Okay, so you go to RyderX.com, sign up for an account or sign in. It's free. Let me log in real quick. Okay, so you're in, and it's a little confusing because this website is designed for a bunch of different things. It's for their different types of vehicles. They've got a whole different conglomeration of stuff going into the website. We're only interested in this planned rides right here. So right here, you can click on planned rides, and it looks like Google Maps at first, and I think they're probably using the display engine, but it's not. All right. Over here, you want to click road. Now in the app, you will see routes. Routes are not things you're creating. It's stuff that's already in their system. These orange lines are their pre-planned routes, which, man, these are the most boring ass rides I can possibly imagine. It's a collection of our freeways. Woo! Yeah, that's what I want to do. Big fun there. Not. So here, the blue one is the one that I drew. Okay? And you draw it like this. You click, it makes a point. Click here, it makes a point. Click here, it makes a point. Okay, here's the problem. Click here, makes a point. You want to do a curve? Too bad. You got to do this. Okay. Make a mistake. You can drag stuff like that, but it's slow. It's really slow. And like I said, it has no idea where the roads are, what roads are. It's not ideal for creating a route compared to Google Maps in the slightest. This route of the Green Swamp tour that I did probably took me about 20 minutes to do. And you do want to get it fairly precise, because when you have turns and stuff like that, if you don't really zoom in and get them precise on the map, when you're viewing it on your phone because it's zoomed in, it gets a little inaccurate. And that's what got me a couple times, because I hadn't zoomed in when I created it. See, look at this. On the phone, you know, it's off the road a little bit. So zoom in, take your time, be precise with it, and it does work well enough. But like I said, you saw how easy, simple, and fast and accurate Google Maps is for creating these things. I did the same thing. I did this entire map in Google Maps in probably less than a minute, literally. So huge, huge difference there, and a lot more accurate. So that's it. Just want to show you guys some options for using your phones for route planning and following them on your bike. Definitely give it a shot. Doing this kind of stuff is really fun. You can zoom in around your local areas, follow some back roads, make up some new routes, make some changes when you get home. You know, maybe there's some roads that aren't that great. Find some new twisties. Have some fun. That's what it's all about. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. We'll see you next time.